Hello, squatties. Hello. Well, this just dropped out of nowhere, hasn't it? Let me say hello to who's ever in chats or the comments right now. Okay. Let's give people a chance to get in. Let's see. We got Mascara. We have Teslin Dawkins, Raven 299, Helen Marmon, and Lydia Washington. We also have Lil Rock. Looking forward to this story. Just hope. Okay, let me just highlight that Lil Rock because you always make such great points. Ngozi Anya. Okay, I like that. Annie Bullard. Yes, Annie Bullard is here. Mary Cat. And Ethan's husband, too, was the first. Yeah, so Ethan Husband, too, was the first to enter the chat. Black Queen, Opal Jones, welcome. Shelton Ward, Elaine Parker, welcome. Marie Asono, anyway, welcome. Linda Pro One, welcome. Okay, you know who you are. Okay, and Church Nelly, Carolyn Tubbs, Jasmine, okay, welcome. Gloria Charles. Wow, y'all piling in. Was it something in the media that caught your attention recently? Got my attention. Angela Bauman, welcome. And Judy Regold, welcome. Huntley, welcome. Daniel Medical, welcome. Beverly Hardy, welcome. BJ Jones, greetings. Sherry Ware, welcome. So that's 2 of the mod squad. Oh, 3, Church Nelly. How did I miss that? Welcome. Yvonne Taylor, Mary G, welcome to the chat, to the live stream chat. Give it a couple more minutes. Lucky Isaiah. Well, thank you so much for that. Let me highlight that. Thank you. I'm feeling blessed. Thank you so much for that. Just having everybody come in this fast like this was very short notice. That is a blessing. Okay. All right, Lavender Rose, welcome. Angela, what? Hey, from the UK. Well, thank you, Angela. Cheers. God save the YouTubers. Cheers. Donnelly Rodney, Patricia Nixon, Ty Fletcher. Greetings, Sister and Cece. Greetings. Okay. Well, let's give it a few more minutes before we get into it. But well, what the heck? Let's just get started. Movo, J.K. Flanders, Teslin Dawkins, I said hi already. Miranda Rios, welcome. I see you got the Afro Annie photo there. Is it a meme? I guess it is. No, I'm sorry, emoji. You got the Afro Annie emoji. Welcome, Adrian Burrows. Jason Bissett, welcome. Dina Cardozo. Gosh, I need some new glasses. Yeah, Church Nelly, I changed the time. I meant to start sooner. And I knew that this would be fresh on everybody's mind. So I'm like, why wait? We might as well get this off our chest now. Marie Hoffman, welcome. Lisa, hi. Simply Vigo, hi. Geraldine White, hi. Welcome. Okay, so we all know what's going on. Prince Harry decided to take action. Now, from what I can tell, is that reviewing this very quickly because I knew very little about what was going on, and I guess that goes for most people. Hi, Carol Purdue, Myra V. Excuse me, my voice. Anyway, what's happening? Prince Harry wants to take his family to the UK, but for obvious reasons, that may not be a good idea. And I thought, perhaps that the Sussexes were not too keen on having the family visit the UK because of the way they were mistreated. Okay, that's one thing. I also thought that the Sussexes were not too keen on bringing the family to the UK because of the global pandemic. Okay, so maybe that's not it either. Because Prince Harry is of a certain means, and because he's a Prince Harry, he is a prince of the realm. In order to bring the family together, whether it's now or in the future, he can provide a certain level of protection for his family, which is the main reason why he left, is protecting the family. But it is said that he would like for his children, as well as, for himself, for the children to get acquainted and for himself to get reacquainted with his land of birth, where his place of birth. But here's the problem. I remember years ago when Princess Diana got married, right? One of the things that they said, Peter Jennings and Barbara Walters, as they made commentary about Princess Diana's wedding to Chucky, is that when Nancy Reagan visits the UK, there was this controversy about whether or not the Secret Service would be able to keep their firearms with them. Because under UK law, where at the time I believe 96% of police officers carried no firearms, at that time, there was a controversy about whether Nancy Reagan's Secret Service protection would be allowed to keep their firearms. Now, I don't know how they settled that. I have no clue. All I know is that was one of the talking points during the wedding. So, as I understood it that day forward, is that if you are a security person and you're in a foreign country, you're not likely to have access to a firearm. And I would suppose that didn't matter who the principal was. Like, for instance, when let's see, a VIP from another country, a government official visits the United States, of course they bring their own protection, but then you also have that security bubble, which is provided by the Secret Service here in the United States. So, having said that, Prince Harry, even though he was born in the royal family, and even though he has had various levels of protection in the past, since stepping back from royal duty, would he qualify or will he be able to have that kind of protection at the taxpayer's expense any place in the world that he travels? Now, some governments may volunteer to do that, some governments may not. So, from reading some of the stuff that I've seen just within minutes of starting this live stream, it turns out that Prince Harry had some kind of security incident when he was leaving the Well Child event the last time he made a visit to the UK. There was some kind of lack of security at that time. Now, I don't know how true that is, but one of the people on the Twitter, and I won't say the name of the account, says, to make it clear, it isn't possible for Harry to hire armed security in the UK as it doesn't exist. The only armed security is provided by the Met Police. Prince Harry has offered to cover the costs, but it was refused anyway. Ex-public servants still get armed security in the UK, okay? But that is not something that Prince Harry is eligible for, even though the amount of threats upon himself, or implied threats, if you will, upon himself and his family, right down to his child being compared to a primate, even though all of these things has happened, even though some nationalists have expressed a desire and even sent a threatening envelope to the Duchess of Sussex, still his request to pay for his own security was turned down, and not just once, but on at least 2 occasions, according to the report. Like, for instance, when he did return for the unveiling of the statue, his security was, or should I say, his ability to pay for his own security, even though these are government security officers, was turned down. And then again, when he offered to pay for security, actually, the first time he offered to pay was allegedly at the Sandringham Summit. And he was told at that time, no. He asked again for the unveiling, no. Now, I don't know who said no. I don't know who was behind that. Could it have been one of the same people who insist that he lost his protection while he was in Canada? That, of course, possibly Prince Charles. Or could it have been that vindictive, incandescent with rage brother of his, this sourpuss? Could it have possibly have been him? We don't know. We don't know. We just know that at the Sandringham Summit, Prince Harry went to see his grandmother, who is supposed to be the head of the family, and he was roundly refused a private audience with his blood relative grandmother. Instead, he had to face this tribunal of gangsta gan, and of course, woefully inadequate and a bit tepid Prince Charles, and then, of course, the very petty Prince William. He was refused the ability to pay for his own protection. There is a lot of maliciousness that has come out of that family where the Sussexes are concerned. For those of you who just joined in, welcome to the chat. I'm looking at the numbers. Well, we're at 300 people. I'm very pleased for that. Sorry for the last minute notice, but feel free to jump in. Let's see. I am going to look at some of the comments because I've been talking for a bit, and I'd like to know what you guys think. Prince Harry and Meghan and Archie and baby Lili must not return to the UK if they do not have proper security to protect he and his family. Agreed, Beverly Isidore. Agreed. Agreed. You know, and I don't want to throw anybody's name into this conversation, but as you know, that on the Sussex Squad podcast, there is a certain feeling about the very idea of security for the Sussexes, you know, and I couldn't possibly explain it as well as they have been able to in the past, in particular, someone I need not mention, but they have been very adamant about the idea that the Sussexes are certainly not safe in that country. And this only confirms what a lot of people have assumed, is that they are not safe in that country. And if there was any abundance of safety where they're concerned, why not give him the ability to pay for the security for his family? That way, they're not on the hook with the taxpayers. There's nothing for the tabloids to complain about, although they'll find something. I mean, this isn't the first time that Harry should have actually offered to pay for something that is a birthright. Sorry to yell, but a birthright. Everybody in that family have large homes that they certainly could not afford on their own. All of them. But Harry is given servant quarters and forced through public shaming and humiliation to pay for the house that he doesn't even own. It was bad enough he already paid for the particular remodeling that they wanted. That was reasonable. They paid over what, $2 million to have the house fitted out in the way that was comfortable to them. But then he brings an additional, what was it, $2 or $3 million to pay for a house that he's not even going to keep. I'm banging on my desk. But he's going to pay for a house that is not his to keep. It's not even his grandmother's to give. They call it grace and favor. Well, that's not very gracious or favorable to give somebody servant quarters. I'm just sick of it. Do you hear me? Sick. I'm sick of it. And so now, fast forward to January 2022, and then we find out, even though he has graciously paid for the house that he's not allowed to keep, that's not his to keep, that's not really the Queen's to give, that belongs to the Crown estate. And anyway, I'm not going to get into all of that. But that little dank, shabby, what was it? They had to remove asbestos, I heard, possibly, allegedly. All of that. And he pays money to help actually settle the books for the royal households because of a lack of funding from tourism. They were able to balance their books because of Harry's generous offer to pay for a house that he can't keep. And then we fast forward to present day, and there's further humiliation because when he offered to pay for security for his family so that he might visit his home country, which is what people were complaining about, is that the kids will never get to know his family, which actually comes as a relief to me. But when he does offer to pay for his own security, they refuse. No, you can't pay for your own security. We would, and this is my words, not theirs, we would rather that you and your family are sitting ducks without any arm protection whatsoever. That seems to be the offer that was made, is that you and your family should take your chances without any type of official protection. And it's not just a matter of the security carrying firearms, but any paid private security that he brings with him to the UK are not only unarmed, but they don't have the intelligence with, say, Scotland Yard or the Metropolitan Police. They don't have access to that intelligence. Unless that information is voluntarily given to the Sussexes, they would be sitting ducks. They would have little or no protection whatsoever, other than somebody standing back in the corner yelling, "Look out! Look out! He's got a crossbow, look out." Is that what we want? I mean, you can't even protect the rest of the family with the security that you have, but you would take away as much security as you could possibly provide, which always seems inadequate, but you would even take that away from them and just leave them with somebody who is qualified in judicial or something like that. Nice, but not worthy of Prince Harry. This is a man who served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan, combat duty. They even said while he was in Afghanistan that he would be targeted. They said that. And not just in Afghanistan, but even beyond. He's targeted from birth. He's targeted because of, I'm sorry, I keep banging on the desk, but he's also targeted because of his tours of duty in Afghanistan. And to thank him, when he offers to pay, oh, I did it again, but when he offers to pay for his own security, you refuse. You refuse. And then people wonder, why was he trying to get away from that family? Why? Isn't it abundantly clear why he was trying to get away? Because it's not safe there. His family's not safe in that country. But yes, with some armed qualified protection, perhaps he could feel a sense of security that would otherwise be completely absent to him if he has official security paid for by himself and the Duchess of Sussex. But he wasn't allowed to do that because for some reason he is not worthy of that kind of protection from his family. You know, as much as I have been frustrated with the royal family, as much as I have done a complete turnaround in terms of respect for that family, it really bothers me that they would sink this low. They would sink this low. I mean, is the queen in control or is she not in control? Because if she is in control of day to day operations of the firm, it doesn't look good for her. And if she's not in control, then that looks bad for the entire institution. This is her legacy. This is her legacy is snatching security away from her grandson. Her legacy is, of course, um, the her so-called favorite son, this guy. This is her legacy. This is Gangsta Gang Gan's legacy. Thank you, Movo. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm sorry I didn't even read that to just now. Betty is close to her. Yes, that is true. So we don't know exactly. Not the way I was planning to spend my evening, but here we are. Not the way I was planning to spend my evening, but here we are. This is disgraceful. It is absolutely disgraceful, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Not just the institution, but the entire family. They should be ashamed of themselves. This is absolutely disgusting that they would refuse to allow him to pay his own way. Is this because it sets a precedent for the rest of the family that if he pays his own way, that it's going to make them look bad? If he pays his own way, other people will expect him to do it in the future. Like, for instance, if and when the monarchy as we know it no longer exists and they have to pay their own way, are they trying to hang on to the public funding that they have enjoyed all these years? Either way, it looks incredibly bad for Gangsta Gan. It really is a blight on her record. So, with that rant, let me go to your comments. I am disgusted by this. Baltimore, he doesn't want to take a chance on the Sussexes coming to the UK. Carol Purdue, that is brilliant. I didn't think about it that way, but that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. By refusing to pay for security, then perhaps that will keep the Sussexes at bay. Brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you for that. And let's see. Can Harry then use his friends to get them in and out of there? I don't understand that one. Next. Okay, this is the royal family's way of saying we will welcome Harry alone and possibly the kids, but not Meghan. Pathetic. Another great point, except for one thing. They said that there was a lack of security when Prince Harry made his visit for the unveiling of the statue. And so, with that, if there was a lack of security at that time, then obviously Prince Harry's need to pay for, let's say, the Metropolitan Police to provide security seems like the sensible thing to do. Now, if you remember when Prince Harry arrived at the airport, I don't know if Prince Harry was demonstrating modesty, or I don't know if this is commonplace, or I don't know if this is a typical transport vehicle. But if you remember, they picked him up in a brown Volkswagen van. And it was such a secure transaction from the airplane to this brown van. Everybody seemed to recognize that that's where Prince Harry was. Now, I don't recall whether or not they saw him come to town, but I do recall seeing him leaving town in the brown Volkswagen van. Um, so apparently there has been leaks, and let's not forget the security leak. The one of the first big leaks that came out was when Prince Harry and the Duchess of Sussex rented a cottage in the Cotswolds. They rented a cottage. And while in the Cotswolds, they rented a cottage that was actually surrounded by other properties. So, since they couldn't just walk up to the front door and snap a photo, since they couldn't go around to the back of the property and snap a photo, from what I'm to understand, there were drones. And the neighbors weren't the ones that revealed the location of the Sussexes at that time. No, no, it wasn't the neighbors. It was someone in the royal household who allegedly gave away the Sussexes' location in the Cotswolds. In other words, the calls were coming from inside the house. Not Dan Wooten this time. I don't think it was Dan Wooten. I forget the name of the writer who gave away the location, but it was a tabloid writer. If you know the name, go ahead and pop it in there. But it wasn't Dan Wooten that time. And that's only because he didn't find out about it first. But the calls were coming from inside the palace, and someone in Kensington Palace gave out their location. And next thing you know, they were not safe there. So then what happened? They had to go back to Nottingham Cottage. They were trying to escape the pressures of Kensington Palace. And so within the Kensington Palace, there was not Nottingham Palace, Nottingham Cottage. You know, Harry has only ever gone from one servant's quarter to another. Nottingham Cottage, and then to the Frogmore Cottage. Okay, so they weren't safe in the Cotswold, location given out. So then they find themselves back in Kensington Palace, where, of course, there was a lot of pressure upon their stay because of someone who is very fragile and insecure, and not to mention nearly bald. And that, of course, was this person here. And so then, of course, they decided, okay, we have to split the household. We have to go someplace else. Now, some people say they volunteered to leave, and some people say they were pushed out. But either way, they found themselves at the Frogmore Cottage. And even there, they were not safe. Article after article, lie after lie, and all of that information, which of course was false, created an air of hostility where I'm sure Prince Harry felt insecure and unsafe, not just for himself, but for his family, courtesy of these people. In particular, probably that little rodent in the back there, that person back there behind William, probably because of him. I can't say for sure, but I'm going to just say allegedly because of him. So that is how they got there. Anyway, however it occurred, they were not safe in the UK. So Prince Harry wants his family to be safe. He wants to have a connection. And I guess the whole idea of there's no possibility of I guess half in, half out, that was quite deliberate because they really just didn't want him to come back. And if he did come back, I believe through some of the tabloid reporters or royal reporters, they made it very clear that you're welcome to come back, but don't bring that woman of African American descent with you. But you're always welcome here. But her, not so much. That was the message I got from that. So take a look at this. This is said to be the official, okay, that's too small, but this is said to be the official press release from the Sussexes, from the Duke of Sussex, explaining why they have decided to request this inquiry, or however it was worded. But let's see. I'll see if I can read part of that for you. Okay. I have to make it bigger so I can see it. Okay. Nope, not big enough. A little bit more. These baby boomer eyes of mine cannot make sense out of it. Or can you guys see that? Anyway, it says Prince Harry inherited a security risk at birth for life. He remained sixth in line to the throne, served 2 tours of combat duty in Afghanistan, and in recent years, his family has been subject to well-documented neo I can't say that because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but you know, and extremist threats. While his role within the institution has changed, his profile as a member of the royal family has not, nor has the threat to him and his family. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex personally fund a private security team for their family, yet that security cannot replicate the necessary police protection needed whilst in the UK. In the absence of such protection, Prince Harry and his family are unable to return to his home. The Duke first offered to pay personally for UK police protection for himself and his family in January of 2020 at Sandringham. That offer was dismissed. He remained willing to cover the cost of security as not to impose on the British taxpayers. As it is widely known, others who have left public office and have an an inherent threat risk receive police protection at no cost to them. At no cost to them. Did y'all get that? An inherent threat risk receive police protection at no cost to them. Other people who have left public service. Anyway, it continues. The goal for Prince Harry has been simple: to ensure the safety of himself and his family while in the UK, so his children can know his home country. During his last visit to the UK in July of 2021 to unveil a statue in honor of his late mother, his security was compromised due to the absence of police protection whilst leaving a charity event, which I believe that was the whale child. Another attempt to negotiate was also rejected. He sought a judicial review in September of 2021 to challenge the decision making behind the security procedures in the hopes that this could be reevaluated for the obvious and necessary protection required. So he's not trying to find protection in Montecito. He got that covered. But while visiting the United Kingdom, he would like to have protection for himself and his family, adequate protection for himself and his family. It continues. The UK will always be, okay, sorry about that. The UK will always be Prince Harry's home and a country he wants his wife and children to be safe in. With the lack of police protection comes to great personal risk. I think that's a typo. Prince Harry hopes that his petition, after close to 2 years of pleas for security in the UK, will resolve this situation. It is due to a leak in the UK tabloid with serendipitous timing. We feel necessary to release a statement setting the facts straight. So there you have it. There's been some type of leak. There's been some type of leak. How come that doesn't surprise me that there's been some type of leak? How come that doesn't surprise me? Why am I'm not surprised that there has been some type of leak? And of course, not saying that he's responsible, but just remember, the calls are coming from inside the house. The calls are coming from inside the house. There's been some type of leak. Otherwise, how come we didn't hear about it in September? How come we didn't hear about it in Sandringham? How come we didn't hear about it? Because somebody leaked. Somebody. Yep. 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 Yes, the calls are coming from inside the house. Not necessarily Dan Wooten Tootin, but the calls are coming from inside the house again. Because Harry is free, they are upset because Harry is living his life and creating his own brand. Now, not to get should I say, not to stray from this subject, because this is why we're here, but let me show you something that I was going to talk about in the video that I was editing before this popped up in the news. I was actually editing a video, and I was outraged by this assertion that Prince Harry is like a deer in the headlights and this is not the life he wanted, and so on and so forth. Let's see if I actually have it. Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay. Okay, let me, there it is. Okay, okay. The Mope Show. Meghan Markle news latest. Miserable Prince Harry's California life, millions of miles from what he hoped, expert says. Now, this was actually in The Sun. And I won't even read the whole article to you, but this PR guru who has represented people like Julian Assange and somebody, I don't even know his name. But anyway, this person says that Prince Harry is at a loss and this is not the life that he wanted. In other words, he finds himself in the middle of the limelight, but that's not the life that he wanted. Before I blow my top over here, I'm going to try to say this as calmly as possible. But how many times have we seen the Sussexes publicly? How many times have we seen them? How many times have we seen the Sussexes publicly? It is a rare occasion that the Sussexes are publicly doing anything aside from their trips to New York City. We've seen very little of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, but yet they command the position as the headline of the day for so many tabloid newspapers, and so often they even find their way onto mainstream American news because they are incredibly relevant and they barely even step out the door in front of the cameras, but yet they're everywhere. Explain that. I mean, we rarely get a glimpse of them. And the tabloids are more starved for exposure of the Sussexes than we are. We take it as we can get it. We're just glad that they're thriving and surviving. But the tabloids, it's a matter of survival for them because they want that ad revenue from the ever present words or speculations about what the Sussexes are doing. Like, remember, they're supposed to be homeless right now, according to the tabloids. They're supposed to have moved out of their house or put the house up for a bargain basement sale price. So, which is it? Which is it? I think the Sussexes, not think, I know the Sussexes, they're doing just fine. It was never Harry's intention to work in front of the camera, to be the lead story of the day. He wanted to get into production. It's been a dream of his for a long time before he left that family. He knows a lot just from being Harry. And as for the Duchess of Sussex, I think acting at a certain point became a means to her getting involved in her philanthropy and charity. So these stories and reporters and such, they got it all wrong. The Sussexes are not pushing their way in front of the camera. The Ellen show, that was a fluke. That was a rare occasion. Very rare. But pretty much we have not seen much of the Sussexes. It's a rare occasion when they step out. But when they do, they completely fill the airways. And some people just don't like it. They can't handle it. Okay, so I've been talking for 40 minutes. Let me go to your comments. Sorry about the rant, but I am very frustrated. Okay, I heard Harry wants to go back. I don't trust the British royal family at all as far as I can throw my shoe. Here, here. Something is rotten. Yeah. Yep, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Let's see. Yeah, I'm so glad that Meghan was able to go on Ellen and let her hair down and just relax and have fun without any worry about what other people were thinking. That was, I felt like my shoulders lowered. I didn't get tense and upset by the fact of what people might think of her. I was glad and happy because she didn't care what people were thinking about her. So to that, I say, glory, hallelujah to the Duchess of Sussex. And I want to add something else to my comment. To the person that just sent a PayPal, thank you very much for that. I don't want to say your name on the thing because I don't know if you use a different name, but I did receive it and thank you very much for that. Okay. Um okay, some more comments here. They are trying to block Prince Harry from visiting the UK. They know one trip of Harry and Eminem. That is, of course, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. It is going to be crazy. People in the UK still love him. Oh, yes. Wouldn't that be something? I mean, there's a part of me that would, I would slip $20 on the feet for their royal protection. I would slip 20 bucks in there if I could. But um I you know, eh, I don't think they would accept it, but I'm willing to throw 20 bucks in the pile if they could go over there. But that's the petty me. The sensible me and the responsible me says they're not safe over there. This is just one of the biggest indications that they are not safe in the United Kingdom. And I hate to say that. Some of the most wonderful memories that I've had traveling has been in the UK, and because of Princess Diana, I had this fascination with the royal family. It was because of Diana. But it has gone full circle from Diana, and the circle has gone around back to the Sussexes, and I'm done. That fascination with that family and that institution is behind me. I'm done. I'm done. And I tell you, because of Princess Diana, I spent a heap of my hard earned dollars in the United Kingdom. But because of the Sussexes' mistreatment, I don't think I can do that again. I'm just speaking for myself. I don't think I'm apt to do that again. Uh, yep, absolutely. Uh-huh. But we are acknowledging our great okay, okay. Thank you for that. Yes, the tsunami. Thanks for mentioning that, Adrian. I am on a bit of a rant and I neglected to say that. But let's send out our thoughts and prayers to the people who are in the path of the tsunami. I think there has been some high water on the coast of California and some other places. So let us. I'm so wound up in this. I totally haven't caught up on that information. But if I have missed your thoughts, I'm scrolling back to see it. Have a lot of supporters in the UK. Okay, I'm scrolling back a little bit. Hope you guys don't mind. I missed a lot. Uh, yep. Yep, 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 yep. The rival court, this is what panics the people in that family is that because they are so dull, and I do mean as dull as dishwater, because people in that family are as dull as the dishwater that we let down the drain. They are intimidated by the fact that the Sussexes have such a ease of comfort from people around them. People love the Sussexes, and in spite of everything that they have tried to damage the Duchess of Sussex, it just hasn't worked. It has just made her the most searched person in the world on Google. That's all it has done. And if they keep doing that, it may lead to bigger things. It may lead to something bigger. Is that Air Force One? Yeah, it may lead to something bigger. So I tell you, if they don't stop, they may have a bigger problem on their hands if they don't stop. So, okay, let me go back to your comments because I'll tell you, I'm a bit worked up by this. Yeah, the Duke of Windsor. Yes, absolutely. The Duke of Windsor. They were so worried about his popularity. Even before he met Wallace, they were worried. My favorite story about the Duke of Windsor was when he said something needs to be done, and they freaked out because he showed some type of empathy for the common working person. And also on that very same visit, one of the, I forgot which aristocrat it was, offered the use of his Rolls Royce for him to visit. I believe it was a coal mine. And he refused. He wore a bowler hat so that he could be more identified with the common person. The Duke of Windsor was the one who made bowler hats popular for the aristocrats. The Duke of Windsor also refused to ride in a Rolls Royce to meet common people because he said, what type of impression does that make upon the common working folks if I show up in a Rolls Royce? Let's see. Yeah, Mary Cat, I've heard that before, and I've seen the photos and such. But I know that the relationship between the Germans and the English had evolved to a point where it went from a lot of very well-known people in the UK being very sympathetic to them to, all-out war. So I cannot stand behind that part of his life, but I can just say this. He was very popular. And if he was not chased out the country, maybe he wouldn't have wound up in the situation that he was in. But I couldn't possibly know that. So, yeah, I get your point, though. I do get your point. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Patricia Nixon. Yeah, I believe they don't want him there with his family. So when the queen dies, they can say, she never got a chance to see the babies. And they weaponize the queen's age. They weaponize her age. The queen is 94 and Philip's in the hospital. The queen is 95 and Philip just died. Yeah, sometimes when you're in your 90s, you die. What a surprise that the queen, after 70 something years of marriage, lost her partner. I'm sure she didn't see that coming. I'm sure no one saw that coming. They thought that Philip would live at least to 110. Ugh, give me a break. Oh. Yep. Yes, and like they said, serendipitous timing. The serendipitous timing of the leak. And so just like, and let's think about this. You guys, I do apologize if I'm too loud and animated, but I am very frustrated right now. But let's consider this. When they had the leak, referring to that leak, of course, about them negotiating their leave from the royal family's duty, when they had that negotiation behind closed doors, ever so discreetly, the reason why they had to come out with the information and try to get ahead of it is because it was leaked. Okay? It was leaked. And so when that happened, instead of just saying, oh, okay, this is too bad, we're going to miss them, they decided to say that they blindsided the queen. The Queen didn't even know. They didn't even tell the Queen. This doesn't look bad for the Sussexes. Eventually, this is going to look horrible for the Queen. This is the Queen's legacy, is that they would pretend that she was blindsided. It's going to come out. And I hope it's in Harry's book. That's why they're so terrified of Harry's book, because Prince Harry is going to set the record straight. And he's not going to do it at the expense of 𝐁𝐑𝐄𝐀𝐊𝐈𝍍𝐆. He's not going to do it at the expense of his brother. He's not going to do it at the expense of jazz hands. It's going to be because they have lied repeatedly. They have lied repeatedly, inferring that the Sussexes have said or done certain things that are just not true. And when he sets the record straight, is going to counter these narratives that they have set forth. It's going to counter those narratives. And that's what they're afraid of, is that the truth is going to come out and is going to make all of them look incredibly bad. So that's why they're so terrified of that book. Paid some people off for them to stay quiet. And yep. I believe that. Oh, you like that, huh? Well, you know, she did dance with a black man in Africa one time. Anything for Queen and country. Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Dale Howard. I am so glad you said that. And you'll find out why once I bring that up. I'm so glad that you mentioned that. I am happy. Let me find it, and I'll tell you why I'm glad that you mentioned that. This, well, give me a second to bring it up. You guys, I had no idea that I would have my dander up at this hour on a Saturday night, but here we are. And I'm not complaining. It's necessary. I'd rather get to the truth of things. But okay, so let me bring this up and I'll share my thoughts with you. Okay, so that did not work. Let me get rid of something so that I can bring something else up. That gets to go, and okay. And one more thing needs to go. Some of the files that I have in this holding pattern are just too large to open up, so it takes me a minute. But try this one more time. I need to turn the fan on. I didn't get hot. Welcome to the live chat, all 612 of you. Just so you know, I am very frustrated by this development that has just come out about Prince Harry offering to pay for the personal security of his family, only to have been turned down because, well, for obvious reasons. Is it, well, not so obvious, because I didn't catch on until somebody just said so, and I will admit I don't know everything. Because they want to keep the family out of the UK. They don't want that popularity imposing on two of the most dullest people ever to have. Anyway, here we go. With the Queen's approval and agreement, the Duke of York's military affiliation and royal patronages have been returned to the Queen. The Duke of York will continue not to undertake any public duties and is defending his case as a private citizen. Now, I saw this, right? And I thought to myself, okay, that's interesting. The wording is very interesting, but there's one thing that I have to say about this. OMID SCOBIE wrote about this very thing in the Harper's Bazaar. And I'm not singling him out because he pretty much spoke about the same thing that other people were talking about. And that is that he has had his titles stripped away from him. Okay, yes, he's had his titles stripped away. They stripped him of his titles. But let us not forget that this only refers to the military affiliations and royal patronages. He's still an HRH. They did not take away his HRH. He is still an HRH, which means that he is still entitled to royal protection. That's what comes with the HRH. Now, the one little caveat that I want to point out is that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, they're still HRH. But the agreement is, oh my God, I'm yelling. I'm so sorry, you guys. The agreement is for the purposes of commerce or trade, they are not allowed to use HRH, but they can still call themselves the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They're not allowed to use the HRH. Okay, that's fair. They are still HRH, but they're not the HRH that allows them to receive royal protection. That has been taken away from them. So they are HRH, and they're not the only ones that are HRH. They stepped down from public duty. This guy was shamed out of public service, but he still retains his title within that household. That has not been taken away from him. Okay, the military patronages and whatever charities, sure. But that is HRH, the Duke of York, all day long. Whatever anybody says, that is still HRH, the Duke of York. So, again, OMID SCOBIE said something that other people have written, and that is the Queen has stripped Prince Andrew of all his military titles and royal patronages, right? But the headline says the Queen has stripped Prince Andrew of all his royal titles. All but one, and that's the HRH. He keeps that, and he's always going to have it. But because he's going to be existing in the shadows, it won't matter anymore because nobody is going to ever call him that publicly until, he goes to join his father and maybe at the time his mother. Until then, outside of the household, he's just Prince Andrew. But inside of the household, he is His Royal Highness, the Duke of York. I don't think I'm wrong about that. It's all lies. It's just to pretend for public to believe they are not supporting him. Yes, Miss P talks. Absolutely. Yes, it's all to pretend as though they're not supporting him. They're still supporting him. He still has his royal protection because he's a HRH and he's in the United Kingdom. And so when he jets out in that Range Rover, he's going to have royal protection. When he hops in that Bentley, he's going to have royal protection. I got to take a drink of water, y'all. Sorry about that. Doesn't he still have his military titles in the Commonwealth? And he is still Vice Admiral of the, Raven, honestly, I don't know. Whatever he is or is not, he's not going to do it publicly anymore. That's the big difference. He will no longer publicly stand out in service of that family. But okay, I won't overheat. Let me calm down. Deep breaths. Cookies and Cream says the Sussexes statement is calling out the unroyal family on their asinine BS. It's definitely showing their hypocrisy, abuse, I can't say that word, jealousy, and pettiness toward the Sussex family. But yeah, I believe it. I just can't say it for the purposes of my monetization. Okay. 653. Welcome to the live chat. If you just joined us, please share with us. Even if I don't read it, you can still share with the group. Yeah, she ain't going nowhere. that girl ain't going nowhere. She need them too much. That's all she has is her toes and that family. As long as she's got toes for people to nibble on. I went there. Let me see what this is. Oh yeah, you know what? Okay. I remember why I had that. Okay. So let me do this. Let me get rid of some things so that when I have another point to make, I'll have room to make it on my screen. But yeah, this guy right here, he gets to keep everything, and he also will stay out the public eye. So he's not really losing anything except for notoriety. Yeah, they're definitely on the slippery slope, if you will. Hi, Donna Reese. Welcome to the live stream. Will he be compelled to come to the U.S. or is he? I'm just wondering if he's actually going to show up. Yeah, he hasn't done much. The only kind of work that he's been doing lately is behind closed doors with some high profile people and allegedly involved in some very shady deals. Okay. Oh, let me stop tapping on the table. That's the noise that you hear, and I'm kind of sweaty and frustrated. Oh my goodness, did I just say sweaty? I'm turning into the Duke of York. Palace have what is that? Sawballs TV? How many people have that going on for them? Who will do all of his patronages? Well, it's not like he does much himself anyway. So whether or not most of these people in the family, when they have a patronages, they don't do much. All they do is show up, eat lunch, and leave. And look at how that uniform is fitting Andrew today. That is an indication that he mostly shows up and eat lunch and doesn't leave as soon because he's got to eat some more lunch. So yeah, it's the ultimate free ride that they have. Okay. Okay, yep. Okay, I see that. Yeah, I don't believe he's going to show up. I just don't believe it. Okay, you guys. I think I have said a plenty about this, and I think I am going to call it quits at this time because let me see, Black Queen, you say, yep, they have trash from the beginning of time, nothing new. Absolutely. Okay, I think I read that one already. Let me scroll. Oh, you know what? I need to scroll down a little bit further. Oh, Ty Fletcher, you've been hanging around me too much. You have been hanging around me too much. I suppose that I am making a terrible impression upon you. 15 chins. Okay. Then when you show a picture of Andrew, that sometimes they put up a picture that includes Harry in the background with negative titles. Yeah, that's a subliminal association, of course, which the tabloids are very good at that. No doubt the palace are used to backroom deals, and they always think Americans are ill-informed and under the level of intellectual pride. Yeah, great point as usual, Lil Rock. Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, so did everybody excuse me. Did everybody make their points? everybody. Mary Cat, you say, I can't stand Andrew, but I have qualms about Virginia. Well, Mary Cat, what can I say? What can I say about that? I don't know the circumstances. And when you're dealing with rich and powerful people, you're under a great deal of threat. And some of the threats and implied threats against some of the other alleged victims of this group of people, wealthy people. What can I say about that? But I think it would be really unfair for anybody to make a judgment because we were not there. And even though I feel a lot of ways about the royal family, how many times do you say, or I'm sorry, how many times have I said, I don't know for sure. I wasn't there. So I think that's being unfair to them. Not a good look. Uh, let's see. Anybody else? What say you? Okay. Right, Black Queen. Absolutely. Absolutely. None of us were there. There are very powerful people involved, and powerful, wealthy people can be extremely intimidating. And taking advantage of someone who comes from a broken home or someone who is unsupervised by their parents, that happens every day. So I don't know the background stories of these alleged victims, but their their voices need to be heard. And if legally the courts say that they have a right to speak out or to seek damages or compensation, then I am not in a position to judge that. I don't think it's fair. They have to settle this in court. And given Andrew's reputation over the years for being one of the cruelest people in that family, and not just because of this case, but he has had a long reputation of being repulsive and cruel toward everybody who's ever worked in that household. And for that reason, I have no sympathy for him. And that emotional support creature in the back seat, I have no sympathy for her either, because she has willingly put herself in alignment with him, and not as a teenager, but as a woman in her 40s and 50s. So um, I think that she's where she wants to be. She's where she wants to be. So yeah. Okay. Let's see. I saw that article too. It came from the Daily Fail, so take it with a grain of salt. Okay. Yeah, anything from the Daily Fail. I like to keep an open mind. I am very open-minded about a lot of things, but some things I just know for sure. And that person on the screen right there and that person behind him, those are two of a kind. They are two of a kind, and they complement each other. They complement each other. So I'll just say that about them. Yeah, this is probably the most sympathetic look I've ever seen on his face. But other than that, there always seems to be that's a person that has a lot of things going on. I mean, his eyes are screaming shady. That's all I'll say. His eyes are screaming shady. And none of this stuff that's happening to him is by chance. This is happening to him because of the way he's lived his life. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Exactly. Exactly. Those girls have been through some horrendous treatment. Now, there's one in particular. You all, I can't even say her name, not because I don't want to, but I don't even know her name. But her accounts of what has happened surrounding that whole crew of people you know, the one who owned the jet, the one who just went to jail. I'm trying to avoid saying their names. But those people, she received things like, well, I'm not even going to say, but she was threatened, and I believe her. I believe her. And she was living in hiding for years. And every time that she thought she managed to hide from these people, she alleged that she would receive something else in the mail or receive frightening phone calls. Okay. And I'm not blaming the person on the screen for it. No, I'm not blaming him for all of that. But I'm just saying that dealing with rich and powerful people like that, when you hire security agents to get dirt on a person, sometimes they don't just do find dirt, but they do some very illegal things. And we just do not have that information in front of us. So I'm not going to assume that anybody is lying about anything. Well, Mary Cat, right now I'm not sure exactly how you feel about it. I see what you're saying now, but you just made some incredible assumptions that I think were unfair. So um, I'm going to reserve judgment for now, but I'm not sure you actually feel that way. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, victim blaming and shaming should never be tolerated. You know, and that's what the courts are for. And we don't know, we have no idea how much information the FBI has about any of these people. We do not know how much intelligence there is for these people that have been accused. But apparently, it's compelling enough that the case continues. And whether or not a person was of a certain age does not mean that a person is not subject to a frightening amount of influence. I mean, well, what's the favorite deferred thing that people say? Stockholm syndrome. That's one way to put it. I'm not sure it applies, but you know, sometimes you can identify with the person that's mistreating you to the point where your judgment is impaired, and that could happen to anybody at any age. So I can't be in a position of judgment of people unless I know all the facts. Highlighted the sins of the father in third generation. Father was a monster. Uh yeah, I didn't see that, Lil Rock. I would like to see it though. Okay. Oh, you don't think so, Mascara? Okay. Okay. I mean, it could be someone, you know, making up a new profile. Yeah, that could be it. Diane Hawkins, welcome. Things have gotten a bit heavy in the last few minutes, but welcome to the live chat. We have kind of gone to a dark place, but I tell you, I'll do this for now. What am I going to do? We're just going to put whoever that Mary Cat is, we're going to put them in a timeout for now because it's kind of hard to say. It's hard to say, but it wouldn't be beyond belief that someone would create a profile just so that they can get in the live chats and wreak havoc. So thanks for pointing that out, that that's probably not Mary Cat. Okay, so we'll find out. We'll find out. Yep. So anything else? Well, I tell you, this has gotten weird all of a sudden, hasn't it? Since I may possibly have trolls in the live chats, I feel like I have arrived. I do. I feel like I have arrived. It's not the arrival that I desired, but I feel like I have arrived. And for that matter, there's over 500 people that have been blocked from Royal Sussex. Over 500, I could assure you. And I don't hesitate to get rid of trolls. Yeah, I do not hesitate. We can sort that out later, but yeah. Yeah, Lydia, you're absolutely right. Let's close on a high. So, as usual, in our live chats, we always pay homage, love, and respect to our faves. And that, of course, would be the queen of everything, Doria. Doria, whose strength and I guess quiet, stoic courage throughout this entire ordeal with that family has been a source of inspiration for me. And the fact that Doria was able, I really do believe Doria was able to put the lockdown on the Raglan side of the family so we don't have the embarrassments that we have on the other side of the family is a testament to her abilities as not only a woman, but a woman of color, a mother, and of course, someone who has a college degree, so on and so forth. So thank you, Doria, for that. And then, of course, Princess Diana, who was plucked away from her family to marry into that weirdness, who, in spite of everything that was working against her, managed to somehow instill a certain sense of pride and dignity, and of course, a self reliance to the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry. Without Princess Diana, Prince Harry would be floundering in the House of Windsor. But thanks to Princess Diana, Prince Harry has somehow found his voice. He's made a life for himself in Montecito, and he has the family that he always desired. So we have to thank both of those incredible queens for making the Sussexes' lives possible. So thank you for that, Diana. And thank you, Doria, for being a strong matriarch in that family to support both the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. Okay, anything else? What do we have here? Yvonne Clark, welcome to the chat. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad to be able to do this. I'm glad to be able to do this. And I tell you, I can never just say that it's my channel, it's our channel. Thank you so much, because without everyone's input, none of this would have been possible. Yes, hail to all queens. Okay, Miranda Rios, thank you so much for joining the live chat, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And Melita, too. Love Harry and Meghan. Just hope they stay away from the Jubilee. Amen to that. I don't think that they should go to the Jubilee at this point. I never felt good about it in the first place, so I don't want them to go to the Jubilee. I think this settles it. Knowing all that we know, and let us not forget, there has been a breach of confidence or confidential information has been leaked about the Sussexes, or the Duke of Sussexes, attempt to pay for his own security upon any visits to the UK. There has been a breach. Someone has leaked information. And whoever is responsible for that leak, we may never know. But this is not the type of moment that you would release something like this in the press. It's a Saturday night. This is like Monday morning information. When you don't want people to see something, you release it on Friday evening. Friday news dumps. Every president in the United States does that. But this is something that came out because there was, does anybody know who leaked it first? I don't know who actually leaked it. Which is it a tabloid? Uh yeah. Okay. Uh Doreen, let me see. Uh oh yeah, okay. I think I heard that woman. Angela 11. Okay, well, if we're going to do that, let's do it right. Let's do it right. Andrew is still a prince, and the security cannot be taken away because that is his birthright. How about Harry? I just they can't take away Andrew's security because it's his birthright, and after all, Meghan may not want the security. Whatever happens, it's only if Meghan wants it. Everything. She's a Hollywood actress. Oh boy. Oh, funny you should say that, Black Queen. Funny you should say that, because I happen to have a photo of her, and I tell you, that Angela Levin is a piece of work. She is a piece of work. Um, all of those Royal Rotor reporters, journalists, and stuff like that, they all have an overblown sense of importance that otherwise could not exist in any other arena but as a royal reporter. It gives them access, it gives them power. And of course, as royal reporters, let's face it, because of their ability to write about that family, you can literally have somebody like Prince Charles. You could like squeeze his chubby little fingers and make him do whatever you want him to do, lest you should write something negative about him. So, yeah, they hold a lot of power. They hold too much power, if you ask me. But let's see, where is it? Okay. Oh, here it is right here. Found it. Found it. Let me get rid of this caption. And let me bring that back. Now look at that. I bet you Angela probably pushed over a table, jumped over a chair, and slid across the floor on one knee so she could make sure that she could take a picture with this woman of African descent. What tells me that Angela probably made the fastest move she's ever made since Prince Harry agreed to a 10-minute interview, which was enough information for her to write an entire novel about him. You know, I'm sure Angela became very much an acrobat to slide over there to take a look at how she's like leaning into the woman. I know somebody black. I know somebody black. Look at her. Hey, I want to take a picture. Let's do a selfie. We should probably take a selfie. Well, I don't know you either, but we could take a selfie. Oh, oh, Duchess of Success. Yeah, is that a new thing? Is that a new thing? When did this start happening? Is that a new thing? But yeah, I've been hanging on to this photo for a while because, like anything else, you never know when you'll need it. But I'm like, look at her. She's in her element. Look at her with them big Harry Carey glasses on. And if you guys don't know Harry Carey, look up Harry Carey glasses. You'll see exactly what I mean. But yeah, I ugh, I hope that woman laundered her clothes when she got home. I hope so, because something tells me that Angela has a bunch of cats at home. I like cats more than I like people because, again, cats don't judge, and yeah, I'm sure something tells me she's a cat lady. I look at her and she screams cat lady. So, okay. Let me get to some more comments here and let me get this person off the screen. Okay, so apparently we have a word from Duchess of Success that there are people mirroring accounts in the YouTube so that they can go on the live chats or even in the comments and say negative things. So yeah, what a new low. That is an absolutely new low, but they're getting desperate because a lot of those people have been kicked off of the Twitter. And I remember a while ago that oh gosh, I forgot exactly who pointed it out, but there was someone. Oh, you guys probably remember his name. I don't, but he was like all over the comments. And then he had accused us. He said, I'm tired of people stop deleting my comments and it's not fair. Anyway, for some reason he thought the comment section of YouTube was a democracy where he was free to air his negative grievances about the Sussexes only for the mod squad to, I guess, drop him off at school and leave him with just enough for milk money. That poor person, I forget his name, but yeah, he was actually counting. Now get this, he was counting how many comments there were compared to how many comments were there to be seen. In other words, let me explain it to you like this. If someone makes a comment and then there are, say, there's 10 comments and you only see 5 of them, that means that myself or the mod squad has deleted those comments, right? Well, he would actually count. He would actually count to see how many people attempted to leave a comment and the comments are no longer there. I kid you not, this guy was counting the comments. And so this went on for, I think, a couple of days before I finally permanently blocked him. But he was literally counting the comments to make sure that he could tell whether or not comments were deleted. Now, sometimes we don't delete the comments. The artificial intelligence removes the comments. We don't always delete them. So if you make a comment and your comment is not there, you may have used a word that triggered the comments, the automatic intelligence to remove it for review. Well, I don't always have time to go back and look at the reviews. And so I may not have noticed that you have been removed. Now, when I do see it, especially, I'm going to tell you, well, I don't want to say who, but there's a couple of people in the chats right now whose comments are routinely blocked. And one of the people actually uses French to reply to the videos. And I have to go in there and manually put her comments back because the automatic intelligence assumes that the comments are threatening or tasteless or something like that. So it's not necessarily the mod squad, it's not necessarily myself removing the comments. That may happen automatically. So I'm sorry, Church Nelly. Is it about what we were just talking about? Okay. Ah. Okay. So Mary Cat has actually been on here for, when did I start seeing her? Like 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? I mean, she's recent to the chats, right? Huh, okay. I'm sorry, the comments are going really fast. I'm gonna take a look. Okay, let me see. Thank you, Myra. Thank you. It's just that, well, you know, she gets on my nerves. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Well, all right, all right. So I think I may have missed a couple things. I'm going to go back and take a look. I hope the Sussex family does not go to the Jubilee. I fear for their safety. Yeah, Eva, I think Eva Diva, I like that. I think a lot of us feel the same way. I wasn't so warm to the idea, and now I'm just totally against it. Yes, Diane Hawkins, thank you for reminding us. Harry said, watch for false information. Absolutely. So anytime there's a information out there, we do have to be very, very vigilant. And Church Nelly, did we address what you were talking about? Okay, Lydia, you said, okay. Okay, okay, okay. I think I'm kind of caught up now. Well, I tell you, if Mary Cat is a troll, and let's assume at the moment that that's a possibility, that is Mary Cat or someone pretending to be Mary Cat. If Mary Cat is, oh, thank you, Rachel Windley. Thank you so much for the super chat. But if that is the case, that Mary Cat is a troll, then yeah, she has been very patient to get that off her chest. But I can't imagine if somebody makes a statement like that. How did they think that that was going to change our feelings about the Sussexes? Or why would they think saying something like that to help out Andrew would somehow make us say, "Oh, you know what? You got a point there. That's not going to happen." That's not going to happen. Uh, uh, More than 2 times watching, the thumbs down could possibly have, yeah, okay. Uh, we don't just block people. I mean, yeah, we don't just block people. We don't just block people. I mean, as you see, I didn't get upset with Mary Cat. I just simply said, you know, because I don't know if, sometimes I'll say this. Sometimes in the chats, people, the spell check can mess up things, or you might, have trouble with the English language. Okay. Some people are responding or commenting in English, and maybe that's not their first language. So I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt where that's concerned. But okay, once, possibly a mistake, twice, then we're starting to see a trend developing. So that's it's not like we just block people. Yeah. Those clowns are stupid over there in the UK. We are talking about the people in the collective royal households and such, not all of the people of the UK. Look at how many times they keep trying to big up um, Ford Fiesta. What is that? So Fiesta, Ford Fiesta, and extra. So Fiesta, I like that. Uh Yes, Lori, I try to, to be patient because English may not be everybody's first language, and sometimes people do make mistakes. So I try to account for that. There's been times when I have read something 3 or 4 times, make sure it was exactly what I thought it was before I block someone, because sometimes people may have inadvertently said something that looked negative. Uh, oh yeah. Yeah, they've been saying that for a while. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's going to be hard to tell, isn't it? It's going to be hard to tell. But I tell you what, we'll find out in time. We will find out in due time. I mean, was there some type of variation in the way that they use the name Mary Cat? Can you use two names for the same account? Um, well, I mean, it's true that Jazz Hands does have trouble with the English language. It's not always easy to follow her. I think that when they send her on those outings, they should actually have like a little subtitle machine so that people can understand whatever thought she's trying to convey. And also, they need to put a mic on her because sometimes when she's speaking, her voice really gets low and you can't really understand her, right? Her voice goes high and low, and she kind of chokes up at the end. So you can never really know exactly what's going on inside of that head. But let us suffice to say that she is one of the great critical thinkers of our time. And there has never been anyone as wise to the development of a child's brain than the Duchess of Cambridge. Nobody has ever sorted out exactly what's wrong with a child's brain. And it only took her 20 years to think of those five things about a child's brain. And it took her even less time to go to a school and try to explain it to the children. There's something wrong with your head. Okay. Please don't repeat their lines. Yeah, it try not to do that because it only helps them out. And and I have to say, in light of everything that's going on, if you want to uh cause suspicion onto yourself, that's the way to do it, is to keep repeating their lines. I mean, I've seen in the comments where trolls will say, "Have you seen such and such so and so?" And it's usually something that is negative toward the Sussexes. So yeah, best to be careful of that because it is a way that people will question your sincerity, um, because we see enough of that without looking for it. Uh, yep, yep. Okay. Um, Well, if somebody coerces you into doing something that you'd rather not do, like for instance, if some air hostess tells you to go to this school and talk to that boy and move into that house with that group of people so that you could get to know that boy, then of course you might develop some weird tick. Then of course you'll develop a bit of a tick, like excessively moving your hands, flailing about. You know, the reason why they call it jazz hands is because that's like a Fosse thing, right? What was the dancer's name? Bob Fosse or whatever. That's kind of like a Fosse thing, using those jazz hands. So, and then notice the way she clenches her jaw. That's someone who doesn't want to do something, and they have been coerced into doing it, and now they have developed a bit of a tick. So she has a bit of a tick, and we're not making fun of her. We're just saying that she does have a bit of a tick, and that tick causes her to mumble things out, to use her hands excessively. And of course, there's been occasions where she literally found herself trembling because she had to read a statement or make a comment or something like that. And that's why yes, Bob Fosse, thank you, Diane Kelly. But that's why she rarely works, because her heart's not really into it. She's living the dream of the air hostess, right? So the air hostess really wants that life. And I promise you, I don't know how it's going to happen. And you all told me, well, Baron, that's not possible. In about 20 years, people are going to start referring to her as Queen Mother because she will be mother of the Queen Consort. I know it doesn't make sense. I cannot prove it, but that is the future Queen Mother, the Queen Mother. She will be known as the Queen Mother. That's why they had, you remember? Wait for it now. That is why they had a royal carol, because they are preparing us for a Queen Mother. Royal carol, Queen Mother. Don't tell me what can't happen. Royal carol, Queen Mother. That is the future Queen Mother. And whatever the price is that she has to pay to make it so, they are going to give her some type of title that is well beyond the pay grade of an air hostess. So on Coronation Day, she is going to push her gold-plated, diamond-studded air hostess trolley down the aisles of Westminster Abbey and sell beverages to people attending Prince Charles's coronation, and then eventually, by some means, I don't know what, but by some means, her own daughter's coronation. So she's going to make up all the money that she's invested on the other end by pushing that air hostess trolley. And she may even experience a bit of generosity and give everybody who purchases beverages during the coronation an entire can of Coca-Cola. No, not the half can like on BA or whatever airline she was flying, but they will get the entire can of Coca-Cola for their purchase price. I decree it right now. So, the little air hostess that could. Well, you know what they say, don't hate the hustle. And that's definitely a hustler right there. She knows how to get stuff done. I mean, somehow, because of her management, she has an entire nation of people believing that this woman is the great critical thinker of our time. She has somehow convinced an entire nation of people that her daughter can play a mean piano. The Phantom of Westminster Abbey, for your consideration. She got people believing that this girl is a concert pianist, that she's the best thing that has come along since Nina Simone. So go and figure that one out. But like it or not, everybody in the world thinks that she is ready to play an entire concert of music for anybody who dares ask her to do so. That's what, look at this. Look at this photo. Now we're led to believe that during the Royal Carol that somebody said, the piano player couldn't make it. Is there a piano player in the house? What? And then William, of course, said, she plays the piano. And so after that, after about 3 or 4 people yelled, she said she can play the piano, then she jumped up like Baryshnikov and on her toes made a glide across Westminster Abbey and sat down at the piano and started banging out a tune. Well, the truth is, she is not really a piano player. She is still learning the piano. She hasn't really practiced since she was about 12 years old, but she's still learning the piano. If I hear one more person say that they only heard 3 notes, one more person, even Ash Secure had to get into it. Ash Secure, if you don't know her, she's very critical of that family. And yeah, but this is what we've seen right? But the world believes that she plays better than Sir Elton John. That's what the world believes. And that type of management is due in part to a team of people at the Kensington Palace. You know who I'm referring to. I'm talking about the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. They help push this narrative. And then the other thing is, I'm sure that somebody, let's say an air hostess, called in a few favors, promised to give someone an entire can of Coca-Cola, and they were able, yeah, that's probably what happened. She probably knew someone from, you know, working for the airlines and said, "Hey, do you remember I gave you that entire can of Coca-Cola?" "Yes." "Well, this is what I need you to do. My daughter is going to pretend like she can play the piano. Will you please push this all across the media?" And next thing you know, Dr. Joyce Jazz Hands, one of the most critical thinkers of our time, has also convinced people that she's a concert pianist. And end of story. That's what happened. So 713 people, welcome to the live chat. Just to refresh your tea, we were speaking about this leak of information about Prince Harry offering to pay for his own security, only to have been turned down not once, but twice, and perhaps even 3 times, where he offered to pay for his own security and was refused. So that's what we were discussing earlier. If you have any thoughts or anything, please throw it in the comments. Let's hear what you have to say. Kate gets a day's worth of overzealous news coverage. Then it goes flat like a deflated tire, right? The next day, and then she gets dragged all over social media. Sounds fair to me. You get what you pay for. Let's see. Well, then use an unknown musician who could benefit from some exposure. Well, Amy girl, there was an unknown musician. They said that there was actually someone else in the room at a different piano. Now, I don't know how true it is. Notice how I said, I don't know that to be true, but that is one of the accounts that I heard from someone that I kind of trust. Okay. So you go figure out, just like one of the famous singers that anytime she records a record, they blend her voice with someone else's voice. As a matter of fact, there's a few singers where their voices are blended because their voice is not strong enough. So perhaps it could be true that three note Katie may have had someone else playing a piano nearby, or blended or mixed in with her piano playing. I don't know. I don't know it to be true. Uh Hazel, that's the way I picture it. I think that the way they edited the video, that she was sitting there. See how nervous she is waiting for her cue? She's sitting there nervously waiting for her cue, knowing that it was predetermined that someone was going to say, "Is there a piano player in the house?" And then at that point, William looked at her like, "It's time." And out of embarrassment, Princess Eugenie, Beatrice, which one is that? She's back there trying to look the other way because she's mildly embarrassed by this farce that's taking place, right? And you see the smirk on her husband's face. Why is he smirking? Because he can't believe he just married into this nonsense. You see what I'm saying? It all comes together. That's why they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. So Kate is nervous. Her knees are locked together. Her hands are, she wants to shake her hands around, but she's holding them tight so they're not jazz handing all over the place. And then William is looking at her like, "Are you going to get up or not?" So she didn't hear the cue. And then somebody said, "Oi, is there a piano player in the house?" And she sat there. "I said, is there a piano player in the house?" And then Kate replied, What? Say again. And William said, hey, she said she plays the piano. And then finally she got up. And of course, when she got up, they didn't do it, live. They did it so that people at home could think that she's like the piano concert pianist player in the family, when the truth is, this was something that was edited days later. And I bet you it took more than one day to get what they needed. I wonder how many times they yelled, cut, 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 before they finally got some material that they could use. And then eventually they spliced everything together to make a royal carol. So that's my account of the events. I can't say that it's a 100% accurate, but I'm not going to say it's not true, because from what I've seen, it could be. Not necessarily, but it could be. Oh, I like this already. Even if she could play like Liberace, that doesn't take away from the fact that she doesn't work and is boring and watching paint dry. The taxpayers are paying for champagne and getting cheap beer. That's right. Champagne taste and beer bottle pockets, as they say. That's exactly what happens. Some of those derangers have champagne taste and beer bottle pockets. And that's why they think she's the best thing since sliced bread. This is what they're trying to uphold as the most incredible royal that has ever been. I've even heard one of the royal reporters say that she's the next Princess Diana, or just like Princess Diana. That right there almost gives me gas, but that's what we're led to believe. What a dull person to put in such a position. But then again, that mediocre is what they really want. They don't want anybody who actually has anything going for them. So if she speaks a second language, I would love to see that. I would be pleasantly surprised to see her try to mutter a few words of French. Let that be the next surprise, please. But the Duchess of Sussex, as we know, has been quietly talented for a long time. She doesn't show out or anything like that. The Duchess of Sussex has no desire to head every situation that she's involved with. She's satisfied to work hard behind the scenes to do the type of work that she's always wanted to do. That's why I would find it pretty odd if she ever went back to acting. I don't think that's in the future for her. If she does any acting, it will be for the purposes of like a public service announcement or something, but not to launch a career. So, okay. I'm glad you, Mary Man, welcome to the chat. Haven't seen you for a while. Welcome to the chat. Connie Balmer is here. Now I feel complete. We got Mary, Connie, Joyce. Did you just join us? No, you were here, right? And Aura. I think you weren't here tonight, right? Okay, but you're here now. That's all that matters. Yeah, I love this photo of the Duchess of Sussex. As you know, one of my favorite things, this is why I got to edit a video soon, is I love to have a string of photos of the Sussexes in black and white. That is like one of my favorite things to do. But I tell you, good luck with this one. Good luck with this one, because they are going to need it. If this is the future of that family, I don't know why every time I look at her, I think Hansel and Gretel. Isn't that the kid's story where that they wanted to think that they weren't well fed and they stuck that bone out because the witch had poor eyesight? Isn't that the way that story goes? She wanted to cook them, and she kept sticking out that little bone so that the other thing is, when I look at them for some reason, the title of that movie, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, comes to mind. Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. I don't know why I keep thinking about that, but every so often I look at them and something in my head goes, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. Oh boy. Okay, so we're nearing the end of this live. um okay. All right. So we've already paid homage to, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let me get rid of that. Nope, not that. This. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see some of your final comments here because I have been seated for 2 hours and I need to move around. Uh, it would be interesting to see if there were like little multicolored dots stuck on the piano keys for her to look at. Oh, thank you so much, Connie. Thank you. Oh, Laurie, well, thank you for staying with us this long. I need to eat something myself. Josephine Young. Actually, I had some coffee earlier, but I didn't have any cocktails. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I had a cocktail. I want to say it was some months ago. I just drank some like white wine or something like that. But my favorite is Pinot Grigio. Oh, I'm sorry, Pinot Noir. I love Pinot Noir. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can find that photo before I go. Since you said that. But it's a meme that I did not create myself. Let me just say that. I did not create this meme myself. But let me see if I can find that photo before I go. And then after that, we'll say good night or good morning, respectively. Okay. My computer's a little slow. Once it gets hot, it slows down. Okay. Come on, computer. I need to put a fan on the computer instead of myself because let me see. Oh yeah, it's warm. Okay. If I can find it. If I can find it, but it's a hoot. Oh yes, this is it. Now please do not shoot the messenger. I did not create this meme. I'm just sharing it with you, but someone made this some years ago when they got married. Isn't that cruel? And I don't like sharing this because, Harry is still close to his cousins, one in particular. But yeah, that was very, very cruel. Whoever did this, it wasn't me. I repeat, it was not me. But I told you guys I have thousands of images, and I have been very careful to label them so I can find things when I need it. So if you guys are at all critical of the fact that it takes me a minute to find stuff, you have no idea how much material that I've had. And I probably had this photo for quite some time, at least 3 or 4 years. So I think I had it since the Sussexes got married, to be honest with you. Okay, so that's it for tonight. Who wants the last word? Let me get rid of this photo, and then we'll do the last word for the night. Let me get rid of the caption. Oh, the caption is gone. Well, let me get rid of the photo. There we go. All right, last word of the night. Who wants the honor? Oh, good night to you, Joseph. Uh, okay. Let me see. And please, not a compliment for me because you guys have been too kind already, but something that speaks to the moment, shall we? Who wants the last word for the day? Yeah, I remember those fascinators were roundly criticized. I think one of the girls actually auctioned her fascinator. I love Benson. I remember Benson. On Benson, on I hear you, Benson. On Benson, I hear you. Remember Mrs. Krause? I remember that sitcom. I'm old. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. We had fun. It's been up and down. It's been up and down, but mostly it's been fun. Okay. Okay. Okay, maybe this is it. The last word. Wonderful weekend, everyone. Enjoy our time together. Lordy, too much laughing out loud. Seriously, fun evening. Okay, Judy Regal, that is the final word for the day. Thank you. You summed it up. We've had a good time. I had fun. I thank you all for joining us here on Royal Sussex. But anyway, good night, one and all, on behalf of Royal Sussex. All right, love you all.